G'day, this video profiles the Macalister River track which runs from the intersection of the Black Soil Gully track and Pine Creek track all the way up to the Butcher Country track. The track does extend just a short way up to another crossing on the Macalister, but we didn't cover that bit of the track. So essentially the track starts at the first river crossing of the Macalister. Just for reference, the river levels were 1.27 metres at the Lacola gauge. So it just gives you a reference if you're looking to head down this way. These river crossings are interesting. They were really shallow, so they weren't very deep, but the rocks are quite lumpy. I'm not quite sure how you go with some of these crossings. When the river levels are up and the water's fairly turbid, it would be really easy to get your vehicle stranded on one of those rocks. Anyway, it's a beautiful part of the state and we really enjoyed travelling along this track. Just pristine waterway. But I have seen it when it's running after rainfall, when it becomes quite turbid and it rises quite rapidly. So knowing the line through these crossings is really important. Generally the lower crossings were fairly rough due to the size of the cobbles or the rocks, whereas the upper crossings the cobbles were much smaller and the crossings didn't feel so bad to get across. And this one was a good crossing, that's number 3. There's not many campsites in the lower part of the track. There's a campsite right at the start, and then there's a camp just after crossing 3, which is an absolute ripper because it's got a big swimming hole. The majority of campsites along the track are up in the upper section around, I think, above crossings 4 and 5. There's some absolute rippers up there too. Here's one of the rougher crossings, and as you can see the cobbles or rocks are really quite big. They've been pushed to the side, but if you took the wrong line through here you could easily beach your diff on one of those rocks. We camped overnight halfway up the track and then headed off in the morning. You can access the Macalister River track via coming down Butcher Country or coming in via Grimmy track to the north. However, unless you're a fairly experienced four-wheel driver, I don't think I'd recommend anyone coming down through the northern path via Grimmy. One of the features of these south-flowing rivers is the riparian vegetation along the sides of the rivers, and the Macalister's no exception. The vegetation is pristine and in fantastic condition. So we're getting towards the end of the track. There weren't too many obstacles to talk about really, other than the crossings. There was one dirty big bog hole right up between crossings 6 and 7 that we had to sort of step our way around. It was quite muddy. We didn't bother putting it in the film, but it was the only real obstacle along the whole track. Otherwise it's all pretty smooth sailing, as long as you're happy crossing the river with those big cobbles. And here we are approaching the intersection with Butcher Country track. I hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you out there.